Boom, boom. This is Ken, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. All right, so we got SINo Alice up today. Now, there's a lot of hype surrounding this game. I mean, it's been in development for about 2 years. I don't know if you remember last year when they initially coming up, it was getting close to the time when it was going to be released, and it ended up being dropped. Um, and then it just, they said they were going to do some rewriting on the English version, and then all of a sudden, we just didn't hear anything more about it. And the rumor was that it just wasn't going to happen. And it got to the point where everybody thought it wasn't going to happen, and then it was picked up here by Poke, and they managed to get the game out. So it's had a lot of hype. There were about over 2 million people that pre-registered for this game. So I've been playing it, and I played it for at least 4 or 5 hours yesterday, just to familiarize myself with the game. This has a completely different game set than what you're used to. If you're just thinking it's going to play like any other game, it doesn't. It's a completely different take on the system, to the point where you're really going to need to go to a Discord or do the wiki to understand what's going on, because you're going to get all of the characters. If you look into the game from the character standpoint, you will see that these are all the main characters right here that you can get for free. Once you do chapter 1, you'll actually get the character. Okay, so it's really not important. I mean, I did as for re-rolling is super easy. I re-rolled 15 times, and it only took me a few minutes. Basically, the minute you log on to the game, they'll download just a small portion of what you need to get started, and the first thing that you'll get is a pool. You get that 10 gacha pool right there. So you can immediately determine whether or not it's something you want to stick with and continue on, or if it's something you just want to re-roll. And if you want to re-roll, you just close it out, go into, if you're on Android, go into your apps data, go in and clear the data for the game, and then reload the game, and it'll start back up. Download that little portion, and you'll get that gotcha, another 10 pool gotcha, and you keep doing it over and over and over again until you get what you want. But in terms of what you're looking for in that role, it's you have to understand each of these characters has what each character has jobs. Okay, and each character can do multiple things. So what you're really drawing for is weapons. You'll notice that when you do the gotcha, it's pretty much mostly just going to be weapons. Okay. And those weapons are what the characters use, and different characters can use different weapons. So there's formations of each character, like you've got all the local characters that you normally get from they've taken these from fairy tales. It's a very dark game, so understand that. Graphically, it's not something that blows you away in terms of graphics. So it related to the hype from the graphics, it's just not there. I'm not seeing it. The gameplay, dynamic fighting is not the story. None of that is anywhere near what the hype was. See, this is the story to this point has been non-existent. Everybody was saying, yeah, the combat's not going to be nice. Combat's not going to blow you away, but the story will be awesome. I'll be honest with you, the story has not blown me away. And the combat most definitely has not blown me away, as you'll see here in a few minutes. So this game's not living up to the hype that it was putting out. Now I'm running this on BlueStacks, and I've got it in landscape mode, so it's going to look different if you see it from other people on their video as to what. But basically, this is me right here in the center, and basically these other people right here are other characters, okay, supplied. So it's actually real time. Let's put it in auto here. So, but as you can see, this is not overtly exciting to me. In aspects of this, looks like a 2-year-old game. Okay, this is exactly what it looks like. It looks like a game that was designed a couple of years ago. It does not match the formats that you can get in some of the games today. That that we have out there that are just much more graphically intense uh, in terms of what you can actually do in the game. Um, it's just global release, so I assume there's going to be more stuff added to the game, although I haven't seen it yet. So not quite living up to the hype here, um, in terms of what it was supposed to be. I was not, I played it for 4 hours, yes, and at the end of that 4 hour time, I was not happy. I did not enjoy myself after about an hour and a half or 2 hours. It got to the point the story is just not there. Each time you go into a new chapter, you'll get maybe 2 or 3 lines, and there is no story. Basically, Red Riding Hood's was kill, kill, kill. Pinocchio was, ooh, I'm this strong. Snow White's just, kill everybody. So, I know it's supposed to be dark, but could you at least give me a story as to why they're being so dark? They're trying to bring back their authors. I understand that, and they say that everybody has to die for them to do that. I'm not exactly sure what the thinking is here. Okay, what I've seen happen is a game that was formatted and ready to come, and a company picked it up, made some changes to it, but those changes that they made to it did not blend into what it was supposed to be originally. Is what I'm getting. So that's the terminology that I'm taking to be. It's not graphically. It, it it does not get. I don't. The graphics are okay. I mean, they're not bad, but they're not up to par on what you get in today's games. Um, Combined with the fact that there really isn't a story to say, and the fact that they completely redid the whole combat scenario and how you get your characters to the point where it's not understandable. I watched several videos, went to the Discord, done, and I understand what they're doing now, but it just doesn't. It needs to be made more. It's too much involved to understand what you're doing to play the game. It's a game, okay. Um, it's not like there are games where you have to sure understand stuff. I mean, we understand that, okay. Games where you have to strategize. Okay, this is not a strategy game. Okay, it has nothing to do with strategy. Um, in terms of basic best weapon on the right character, increase your, everything is similar to what a game would be from the character standpoint, but the way they do it, as you get more copies of these characters that do different types, like you'll see a Cinderella that uses a sword, but there'll be a Cinderella that uses a bow. Snow White that uses a sword. You'll see a Snow White that uses a hammer. So you get all these different things here that they can do, and each time they use a different weapon has a different type of job, so to speak. That's what they call jobs. Is basically the more jobs you have, the more jobs all your characters can do, you'll get a buff that is applied to your overall character. So the more jobs you have, the higher the higher things will be, and the better buffs and the better experience that you'll get from within a overall standpoint. So it's like you can't just get one character and go with one character. You can't do that. Okay, well, you can do that, but you're not going to be in any way competitive. You're going to have to be a lot more. You're going to have to do all the characters. All these characters here, you're going to have to do all of them up to chapter 5. You'll get them all. You do pulls for weapons, and try to get the best weapons that you can, and use each of those weapons, and then you're going to do each of these levels for everybody else with another character. So you're going to be basically doing a lot of the same thing over and over, just with different characters. So this is not at all living up to the hype. I was understanding, I knew when they first came out with it, and what I'd seen about before, we knew that it was going to be different. They had been pretty honest about that. Okay, so I was expecting that, but what I was really, really looking forward to from my standpoint was going to be the story. I was hoping to see a really good story that would be entrancing, using these fairy tale characters in a different way, in a much darker format. I thought sounded pretty cool, but there's no story. I hope that changes, but as of right now, I don't see it. Each story is maybe you get 3 lines each chapter. Don't really make sense. Kill, kill, kill. I mean, Snow White, she's just a demon. she, she's basically just, I mean, it just, each time you get you get 3 lines. You can't tell a story in just 3 lines. I mean, you get the original character, which is about, I don't know, 15 lines of text saying that they need to get their author back, because that's what the whole thing is about. They want to find whom created them, so that they'll write more stories on them. But then after that, this is what you get. Okay, see. Okay, so unless they do something different in terms of storyline, and I just don't see the story coming. Okay, I sort of like the fact that you're fighting with other people, in from a real time format. What worries me about this is how, if it's this real time format as they say, then what happens when people leave the game? And which, because I know there's going to be a lot of people who are going to do that, because this is nowhere near living up to the hype. I've watched several other people give their reviews, and they've all pretty much said the same thing. And I went to their reviews specifically because I wasn't feeling it. So I said, well, wonder if I'm like, am I the only one not feeling it? So I went to look. 2 million pre-registered. I was one of them. I pre-registered back last, year and a half, 2 years ago when it first came out. I pre-registered for it. And then it kept getting delayed, then was canceled, then came back with a different company. So I was really, I was waiting for it, and I started playing it. I'm like, okay, this is just not. I just wasn't feeling it. I mean, it's okay. It's not bad or anything. It's just not nowhere near loving it. But as much hype as it had, I guess that's not surprising. There was a lot of hype surrounding this game. But yeah, if you want to play the game and you want to continue focusing on this game, go to the Discord, sign up to the Discord, and because you're going to need you're going to have to really work to understand what this is, um, and go from there, because it's from that basis. That's what you got from the story. Not a very good story, and I just don't see where it's very good in terms of um, combat, keeping me entranced, or not entranced, but at least keeping me to want to play the game. Okay, so let's look at some of the other stuff. Okay, from the standpoint of the story, you got events. There's the opening. They got several events going on. Basically, these events are just things. This one you can get gold. This one you get evolution materials, and this one is shattered memories. This is actually stuff to upgrade your skills and stuff like that. So it has that format as well, so you can upgrade your weapons. These here are the dolls that come up. These are what when you first get at your Tim pool. Okay, so these are pretty much what they're telling the story, which is probably why it's so freaky. Um, and basically, what you're seeing is these are just ways for you to get the growth items. That's all this is. Okay, they just call them events because they alternate. Okay, so you can get evolution materials for the next 22 hours, and then it'll close out, and you might see it gone for a few days, but it tells you what times they are, when they'll be up. So you're not going to have certain types of materials up at certain times, so you just need to plan accordingly. There are no key events at this time. It's just basically the opening event. I assume in key events you'll start seeing that when they start opening up the actual, the second events that occur after the initial opening event, the launch event, which is what this is called. You have co-op. Co-op, after you complete the first chapter, co-op, you would just get a box for co-op, and basically you can do different types of levels and different types of events, storylines with other people. I'm not really sure I understand what co-op is for, because it's going to be good when you get in a guild, because that way you'll be able to get your guild members together. 15 people to a guild, so guilds are going to be very small, but you'll be able to get guild members together, and my assumption is you'll be able to do high level questing with that is what I assume is going to be once you get the quest and once you get access to guilds. Okay, so I'm assuming that's what you're going to see whenever that's available, but it's not available at this time. So gear, when you hit gear, you're not going to see. Gear is actually your characters. They're called gear because, like I said before, you'll get all the characters, okay? But it's the weapons that you want to have them that make up everything. Okay, so these are the weapons that she can use. You'll notice that Snow White Breaker, she can use a sword, hammer, bow and arrow, and a spear. So you could equip those types of weapons on her, and each type of weapon will do a different type of attack. Okay, but she can only use what you're showing here. So, and then you've got Pinocchio. I'm sorry, not Pinocchio. This is Sleeping Beauty. She's a sorcerer. If you look at her, she can only use these types of characters, okay, of weapons. You know, a harp, a book, a globe, and a scepter. So once you get scepters and stuff, as you get weapons, you equip them on your characters for different things. Okay, so as where this Sleeping Beauty up here could only use these, this Sleeping Beauty actually uses other things. So you can do Sleeping Beauty in a sort of sorcery mage type format, or you can use Sleeping Beauty as a melee character. So Sleeping Beauty is an excellent starting character that you should focus on because she can do a lot of jobs. Okay, each one of these is a job. Okay, so Sleeping Beauty can do a bunch of jobs. Okay, on different types of her character. Okay, there are some characters in the game that will only be able to do 3 jobs and they'll only have one type of character. So you can do them, of course, but you might want to focus on a character that has a lot of jobs that it can do, so that it'll increase your overall buff that you get from your character. Okay, so somebody who has, 10 characters but only like 30 jobs, when compared to somebody who's got like 6 characters but can do 50 jobs, is going to be more powerful. Okay, see what I'm saying? So the more jobs is what you're looking for. Okay, you'll be able to get the characters. Characters will be in fleet. You can get them all just by playing the first chapter. Okay, but it's getting the weapons for them and equipping them with those weapons so that they can do the jobs. It's what really makes the difference. Okay, so that's what you're going to be focusing on. Okay, so that's pretty much the game. Okay, as you can see, there's just really not a lot going on right now. You will get a bunch, and I mean a bunch, of items when you log on to the game the first time. There'll be like 50 items in your mailbox, which is this little chest right here, which is empty because I just claimed them all. But you'll see like 50 items in here. They give you a bunch of crystals and stuff to get started. They give you a bunch. They give you a free weapon. There's a log on event going on right now. Where you can get different stuff. They got, the daily questing events. This is the running start mission right here. As you complete these, so they'll give you these little crystals. These crystals are used for, of course, running into the gacha, which is called Grimoire. So if you were looking for where it's called Grimoire. It's not called Summon. And the Grimoire, the only one they have open right now is the release Celebration Grimoire. And you can do, it costs 30 crystals for 300. As you can see, I've got 1,000, so you can do it. This is one of the characters that you can possibly get. I did on the 15 redraws I get. The only time I actually got Cinderella right here, Breaker, a version of her. But I just did a reroll because I was seeing how fast I could do it, so I didn't keep it. And then the next time I got the last one I did, which I decided to keep, was I got one of the Pinocchios that I had, or the Sleeping Beauties that I had. So that's where you're at with that. Okay. So there is a special draw up. If you do draw on these, there's a possible that you can do it. I'll go ahead and show you a pool just so you can see what it looks like. So basically you open up. Now what you want to do is you want this dummy to hit this dummy. If this dummy hits this dummy, that means it's going to be a really good pool and you'll get an extra pool. Okay, didn't happen in this case. Okay. Oh, okay, it did happen in this case, which is very good. This means I'm going to get an extra an extra pull for the draw. So let's see what we got here. Okay, so any of these books are going to be your S's, SR's, and your SS's. What you're trying to get is an SS, and I didn't get an SS there. So let's just open these up, and you see these are your weapons, all the different weapons. Okay, and that's what you got. So not a really good draw, as you can see from that point. It's a gotcha game, so don't expect. I think the rates are like 0.6. There's a chance that you'll get somebody on the banner, so it's not good. Okay, but it's a gotcha game, and you can get most of the characters, as I said, directly from the playing chapter 1 on each of them in the story mode. So I got a gift, did a grimoire, put on a bonus. So I got a bonus item, it was 100 gold. You'll get a bunch of gold when they give you a box. They give you like 1 million or something, so you can do that. Upgrading and selling, it's all pretty much the same. It's basically the same thing. Okay, now there is no stamina associated. What there is AP. Okay, when you run out of AP, you can no longer play. But what you can do is you can do a purification. Basically, purification is basically where you recharge your AP. Okay. And the way you do this is simple. Just drag your mouse or your cursor and don't even lift it. Just okay, and see it'll boop it around in there. So that's what you're trying to do, is just run around as fast as you can and just hit them all. It's a little difficult with my mouse here. And rank up. Okay, so that means I ranked up. So that means my charge is going to be pretty much full. And then time will run out here. See, I'm not even picking my mouse up. I'm just lifting it over and just dragging it so that it hits all of the characters or enemies here to destroy them. Okay, so, and I ranked up again, so that's a pretty good one. Okay, so see, now my AP recovered. So I recovered, you know, some more AP. So now because I ranked up, I got all my AP back, and now my AP is full and I can continue to play. It was already full except for just a couple, so not really a big deal. But that's how you get some more stamina. So okay, standard daily missions, and you know, this is my dailies. I just did a draw. I did a purify, so you can claim all this, and you know, get some tickets. So there's nothing here that's, you know, it's a different game, but in terms of the format and the base level, it's pretty much the same. But it's a different setting and it's a different design. So yeah, it's just not quite living up to what I was hoping it was going to be. But you know, it is what it is. So you want to make sure you follow the rookie's path. This was right here. Do these things that they specifies in here, and you'll get all these upgrade materials that'll lead you through, walk you through as you're playing game, just to get a bunch of goodies, as most games do when they have a opening event. Okay, so that's it. So SINo House, not quite where I was hoping it be. Did not live up to the hype, but considering how much hype it had, it's not too surprising. Okay, so that's my initial review on the game, guys. Okay, so let me know what you think in the comments. Go ahead and put a like on the video, and remember to subscribe to my channel and click on the button ding ding bell beside if you want to get notified whenever I drop a new video. And this is Ken Rear in the corner, signing out.